Man, you guys know what's sad is that Graham Hill has been the USC offensive coordinator for 3 weeks. And I just found it out. That's how bad the USC football program is at this point. Because people are not even concerned with what's going on with the football program at this point. You know, Graham Hill, you know, as you know, he played quarterback at Texas Tech with Mike Leach. He followed Cliff Kingsbury. He was a pretty good quarterback. He was a smart quarterback. He played with Michael Crabtree, and he and Michael Crabtree lit it up. You know, Michael Crabtree, I believe, had 23 touchdowns in one season with Graham Hill as his quarterback, but they played 2 seasons together. Mike Crabtree was a redshirt freshman and sophomore when he played with Graham Hill. Graham Hill played in the NFL, and there was some beef with Mike Leach in the NFL because at the time, a quarterback at Texas A&M named Stephen McGee was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, and Graham Hill wasn't even drafted. Was drafted either way later after Stephen McGee, or it wasn't drafted at all. And so that made Mike Leach upset, saying that, you know, the Dallas Cowboys liked Stephen McGee more than Texas A&M. And because Stephen McGee didn't even start most of his senior year. And Graham Hill had been in like maybe 2 or 3 years. I think 2 or 3 years. I know he was definitely a 2-year starter at Texas Tech, but maybe he was a 3-year starter. But what I'm trying to say is that, you know, he did get a chance to play in the NFL. He's a smart guy. He plays in that offense. He knows that offense. I just read that he was at North Texas for the last 2 years, and they had a pretty good thing going on over there with them. But my point is, what I'm trying to make is that the USC program is in so much disarray at this point, is that nobody cares about the program. Of course, I care about the program. I live and bleed Cardinal and Gold. You know, like I said, I grew up right down the street from Coliseum. I can actually see the Coliseum from my front porch. I went to, you know, I frequent USC games in the 1980s and early 1990s. You know, I go to games every season. I went to football games, you know, every year. So my point is, what I'm trying to make is that Graham Hill, he's a good pick, you know, for the offense. You know, it's definitely gonna be exciting. But you know, I have the same concerns as if I had when Cliff Kingsbury was the quarterback. Is he a good teacher with X's and O's? Can he get the running game going? Because, you know, we have 2 talented running backs. Stephen Carr being one of them, and number 29 being the other one. Like I always say, I can't pronounce his name, so I don't want to look stupid on camera by trying to pronounce someone's name and being disrespectful. And so, but everybody knows who number 29 is. He's a Polynesian from Hawaii. He's a pretty good back. What the report I was reading is that he's gonna get his opportunity to carry the ball enough times in 2019, and I'm pleased with that. You know, because Stephen Carr, he didn't look that good to me last year. As a true freshman, he looked brilliant. Like, as you know, he had surgery last spring, and he's just been injured at USC a lot. So, you know, being a true freshman and being injured is one thing. Being a sophomore back, being injured is another thing. But the thing about being injured as a sophomore back is that he was injured in his lower extremity, which was a high ankle sprain. So he was lost for the end of the 2018 season. But if he was like injured in the upper body area somewhere, then I would think that was a sign of being lazy, because, you know, that means he didn't put in the work in the weight room that he should have put in the weight room. But then again, you have to take into consideration that he injured his back and had to undergo back surgery. So that set him back. That set him back last season. So hopefully he can overcome those injuries and come back this year and give us, you know, the what we expected of him last year. You know, because what we saw as a true freshman, what we saw as and what we saw as a true sophomore was night and day. It was two different there were two different things that we saw as the true freshman, as the true sophomore from him. So man, if he, like I said, I bragged about him. I thought he was gonna be a Heisman Trophy candidate. You know, at some point at USC, because you know, that's the kind of potential that he has. But I heard a long time ago, potential is just another thing that people put a label on someone that hasn't done anything. You know, that hasn't done shit. You know, so that's that's what that is. And so you know, I like Stephen Carr. I think he probably will be given every opportunity to be the starting quarterback at USC because of his potential. But as far as productivity, last year, you know, Usc Ware was a pretty decent back, and number 29, guys in Hawaii, he was a pretty decent back. He looked really good last year. And you know, Stephen Carr, you know, like I said, he didn't look very good last year. But the point I'm trying to make is this offense, you know, USC went ahead, they recruited for this offense, so they brought in somebody else that knows this offense and that has run this offense. The reason why I say Graham Harrell is smart because a lot of quarterbacks are stubborn. You know, a lot of quarterbacks would have tried to like turn their head and look for other receivers, but Graham Harrell was smart enough to keep going to Michael Crabtree because it was productive. You know, and it was winning them football games, and it was making their offense very successful. You know, and a lot of quarterbacks probably would have went and tried to, you know, use Crabtree as a decoy to open up other things on offense. And obviously, you know, he did that. But for the most part, you know, he stayed with the guy that was, you know, that was his bread and butter, and that was Michael Crabtree. And Michael Crabtree, like I say, Graham Harrell, Michael Crabtree lit it up. They lit it up in the Big 12. Man, I mean, that offense was you know, every time you looked in the early Sunday morning, late Saturday nights in the fall, Michael Crabtree was splattered all over ESPN because of the productivity he had in the offense. So the USC wide receivers should be very excited about having Graham Harrell as an offensive coordinator. You know, Tyler Vaughn, Michael Pittman Jr., you know, the other young Amon St. Brown, all of these guys, you know, they have another guy that I like at USC, number 13. I hope he's coming back. I don't remember his name, but you know, yeah, man, this, like I said, this offense is gonna be really, really, really good. I'm being positive. You know, I'm not gonna sit up here and and put all the cons for it. You know, because I did that in my last post that is now deleted when they hired Cliff Kingsbury. You know, I had a lot of concerns, and I still have those same concerns, but I'm just being a little more optimistic about what I think can happen at the program. You know, the program, you know, I mean, this is USC. This is 11 national championships USC. This is, you know, Mike Garrett, Marcus Allen, O.J. Simpson, Matt Leinart, Carson Palmer, USC, 5 Heisman Trophy winners USC. You know, this is you know, like I said, 11 national championships. This is the beast of the West. This is the beast of the United States. This is a top echelon program when it comes to football. You know, we beat people down. We destroy people. You know, we look to murder people on the football field. You know, you got to have that mentality when you're at USC. You can't be no punk at USC. You got to come in. You got to put your time in the weight room, homeboy. You know, you got to be real. You know, you can't be no square, you know, at USC. Boy, USC is in the hood. You know, so you got to have a hood mentality when you come in at USC. You got to have that killer instinct. You got to know that you got to bang when you're at USC on Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. Or whenever other day we play, Thursday night, Friday night. You know, you gotta, when you come to USC, man, you gotta put your grown man pants on at 18. You won't consider you a kid anymore. You don't come there, you don't get to sit and watch and develop. You gotta come in ready to play, ready to be a grown man and handle your business. You know, this is USC. This is not UCLA. This is not the University of Miami. This is not Alabama. This is not Clemson. It's tradition here. You know, it's tradition. It's NFL Hall of Famers, college football Hall of Famers. here at USC. You know, you don't come in here and you don't sit around and, you know what I'm saying, and fantasize about what you want to do. You go out there on the football field and you do it, homeboy. And I'm going to leave it at that. This is USC.